What made you lose respect for someone? My boyfriend and I were dating for about 2 months at the time. We were both 19 and one day his mom asks him when he is giving her grandchildren. Now, this lady already has grandchildren and she's not allowed to see them because she has severely abused children in the past. Including her own younger sister who had brain damage from her older sister beating the shit out of her. My boyfriend told her not anytime soon and he didn't even know if I could have kids, RH factor here. She had the audacity to say, well maybe you'll just get bored of her and find someone that will give me grandchildren. He said that's fucked up, left, and told me about it. It enraged both me and my parents and I can't even look at her without feeling sick to my stomach. Now whenever I'm over there, she makes belittling comments at me for not wanting children right now. I'm not even done with college yet and I'm not even old enough to drink, so fuck off. Is what I want to say but I never do. When my grandfather began his slow decline into ill health and eventually death due to Parkinson's, my grandmother said I didn't sign up for this shit. Yeah you did lady, it was right there in your marriage vows. You know what really sucked? She didn't even have to do the physical caretaking for him, they hired a full-time nurse. All she had to do was treat him like the good company he'd always been. So fucking sad. My ex-best friend stole from my sister and when I confronted her about it, she played the victim to her mom and cried about me bullying her. She was a self-proclaimed lesbian who would occasionally sleep with dudes. She did not believe in monogamy and thought very little of the people she slept with. However, she was honest about it and her partners didn't seem to care. Then she started having a bit of a bump in her road life, quit a well-paying job to work a minimum wage part-time gig while trying to figure out what she wanted to do next. Then she started sleeping with a mutual friend, one who had had a lot of bad luck in the romance department. Someone she was really good friends with, but in the past had rated as a 5/10 when she described him. She told me she was in love with him. She moved in with him. A couple of months later told me she was just having fun and would dump him in a year. That's when I lost a lot of respect for her. If that is how you treat one of your best friends that you love, you are not someone I want to be good friends with. Within a year they were married. The last time I spoke with her she hinted that she was moving and didn't mention him or use group pronouns. I don't know if they are still together or not. I would not be surprised either way. They bought Dogecoin at 70 cents. Half my church putting Trump signs out in their lawns. I mean we saw it coming, but damn. It sucked. Glad we moved. When they interrupted me with I don't care about it anymore so I'm not gonna apologize while I was trying to express how they had hurt my feelings. My teacher copied teaching material from Google into a piece of paper, then proceed to order us to jot notes from that in class. Finding out she supports dog breeders. I just came here to see cute videos. Breeding is disgusting and unethical. Posting Republican propaganda. My ex when he would get drunk and send me non-stop texts accusing me of cheating/not loving him. After I finally had enough and broke up with him, he told me what a loser I was for having to move back in with my parents. After my ex-fiancé dumped me and kicked me out, I rely on makeup for my face, and no one will truly want to date me. Bruv, this just happened. This girl I know was heading to get food and we tagged along. The place we went to was closed so we went to a fast food place nearby. There were a lot of people in the car and it probably overwhelmed the cashier because we were in their drive-thru. Granted, no line in front or behind us due to time at night. Anyways, this girl specifically doesn't want pickles in her one burger and out of all of us we ordered a few. Before driving off, she says her burger has pickles in it. Instead of brushing it off she demands they take it back and do it correctly. All of us in the back seat were saying we'd eat her pickles if she didn't want them but she said they're fucking disgusting, XYZ. She also stated she'll eat pickles by themselves but finds they ruin burgers because they make the bun soggy. But there's also sauce on the burger so we were all confused cause doesn't that make the bun soggy too? The worker was also confirming yes, no pickles. She was foreign and I could tell English wasn't her first language but she didn't prepare the burgers, She was just cashiering. Anyways, because we were trying to reassure that it wasn't a big deal to cause a scene and keep pressing the cashier, she did offer to take it back and fix it. She relents and lets it go, but as soon as we drive away she goes back to saying stuff like it's their job. Personally, having worked in the service industry and understanding mistakes happen, that really changed our perspective of her. TLDR, girl had a Karen meltdown in the drive-thru cause there were pickles in her burger when she didn't want any. She started talking about me behind my back. I was rugby captain and she was jealous. I was a 2 years player made captain, she didn't and was a 4 years player. In turn she told new recruits I was a bitch, power hungry and couldn't be worked with. Over time teammates gained respect for me and my dedication for the team. I then tackled her so hard one day she got so scared of me she quit. When he made fun of my dog dying. Such an asshole. If you're reading this, Alex, fuck you. Oh, easy. There was this one chick that always just seemed cool and chill. She never seemed dipped into drama and she normally just did her own thing. Until we hung out one night for dinner. That was the first time it was one-on-one versus like a group setting. And then I just saw her outside the work/school/other friends' distractions. I realized very quickly that she was sly and subtle. She never openly dipped into drama. But she was the one who whispered in people's ears and stirred the pot. After she made a subtle comment about someone I cared about, it was a rumor that had spread around and was what ignited my friend's mental breakdown, and I instantly left the table and drove home. She told me that she only pays people back if they ask multiples and hopes they forgot. Worst roommate ever. Someone said that abortions were wrong. Also that being trans was a choice. That's a pretty easy way to lose my respect. Turns out my grandparents were racist. Who knew? I was the new kid in middle school and was trying to find my way around, and this kid who seemed really nice and helped me with my way around. Well, that only lasted for about 3 days until he went up to me one day with his posy and did the thing where he would kick the back of your knee to make it bend outwards, and it feels weird. But then he did it again right after, except he kicked me with full force that it hurt my leg to where I was on the ground holding my leg because it hurt so much. They thought it was the funniest thing in the whole wide world. They did the most random stuff to bother me, especially at lunch, where they would throw my lunchbox or my backpack or just dump everything out. I would not eat much because I would be trying to defend my stuff from them. It was not until recently until that same guy who did all that had drawn a swastika on the back of my new shirt without me knowing, until someone pointed out and I was heavily embarrassed and was thinking of how mad my mom would be, and told them that I was not a neo-Nazi or anything, it was that someone had to have drawn it. And that is when I have accepted that I am being bullied and is one of the main reasons I have depression. But hey, at least school is ending soon, so that is something to look forward to. Went hiking with a friend and I had a few beers in the morning and were hiking, and he calls me a fat slob, which him not, and says he's out hiking me, and I tell him he's an asshole and you don't treat people like that, especially since I've never said anything like that to him. He calls me sensitive and the moral police, then jogs back to the car without me. It takes me an hour to hike back by myself and my socks are drenched in blood from my ankles. He tries to be all buddy-buddy with me when I get back to the car and I don't say anything to him. Decent people don't treat others like this. A fellow teacher. He adds students to his friends list on Facebook, which is a crappy idea on its own, but he decided to drunkenly message a 12-year-old student telling her she was beautiful and drunkenly flirting with her. Her parents complained to the school, he got fired. One of our social circle decided to confront him about it and give him a chance to explain, in the hopes that he could give a good explanation, even though we knew no such thing existed. Most of us had been friends with him for about 15 years and he was a really valued, respected and loved member of our group. His excuse was that he was trying to give her a confidence boost as she was a vulnerable loner. When he sent us the screenshots, it was clear what he was doing and we told him that was the end for us. No one was interested in anything else he had to say anymore. The lesson here is don't mess with kids in any way, especially if you're a teacher. You will lose everything you've built, and rightfully so. People who judge knowledge based on what the person looks like who gave it to you. It shouldn't matter if a homeless person is dropping gems. You should evaluate the message, regardless of the messenger.
With